2. Well, not really a best of 2. It's just a 2-game series. You get points. I think Chappa's a bit favored, but I have never seen Team Fade play. I know you know a little bit about them.
Well, I've never heard of any of the players on Chappa, but I know most of the Fade guys from before, so I'd have said the opposite, but they've never really played on a team together, most of them.
Oh.
It was mostly Go Audio and Hydra that I used to play. One of them's the next teammate, Microb. I have no idea who the STN guy is, and I used to play with Corey a lot.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see how they mesh.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how these new teams do, but they are in Division 2, which means they must have done pretty well beforehand to get up here. And Chappa was a I would say mid-performing team of mid-tier 2 team. They've got some unknown, or some known players. I believe Pasha Invoker is like one of their most known players, but they're all pretty good. Either way, we're getting into some picks and bans. I think all of these bans pretty common this patch. Nightstalker rarely makes it through, as does Alchemist. And Team Fade going with an Ember first round. I know he didn't get nerfed last patch, but I'm always wondering if he really is stronger than picking up some of those kind of really strong supports right now, like the Wyvern and so on.
Well, if you've been watching like the MLG stuff, Ember's mostly first pick from what I hear.
Yeah. And
the hero is just really strong. I really don't see a reason that it shouldn't be picked or banned in the first 4. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
And with the QoP and Undying, they can put a lot of pressure, so that's how they want to deal with it.
Yeah, we've seen this a lot where if Ember has to go mid against the QoP, Ember traditionally loses his mid lane, so he's gonna have a bad time. And if it's one of those Undying plus another hero to stop the safe laner from farming, I don't know where Ember's planning on getting last hits.
You can actually do alright against QoP mid. If you go for PMS, get a salve, have your team pull you tangos and skill slight to dodge the Q from QoP, you can actually get your CS, and then you can recover with stacks later. It's not too bad if you can play it right, but don't get me wrong, QoP definitely wins.
Yeah, it's kind of like you salvage the lane, and they go with the Dazzle. I like this pickup. Something I do wonder about, though, if whether Chappa will take the next set of picks to get the AA. It feels like, given what heroes are strong in the meta, a lot of heroes who heal up, Dazzle, Witch Doctor, and so on, getting an AA just causes a lot of havoc, and I think it'll basically get rid of the Flame God. Actually, the Flame God will absorb a lot more, so never mind.
Well, the problem with picking AA into Ember is he doesn't provide any lockdown at all, and Dazzle's like, you can kind of regard them as they cancel each other out. You cancel the healing out from Dazzle with AA, but you can also save people from shattering with Grave, so it's kind of 50-50. Which one's better against the other, I find. It's very situational.
Yeah.
But if you have Undying AA as your support duo, the Ember's just going to be able to do whatever he wants, so then you're relying on picking cores that can lock him down. So it's quite risky to do that. I don't think Team Fade will care if they get an AA on the other team.
Yeah. So Fade's gonna... A Broodmother ban out. I think this just makes sense if you don't have the supports to deal with it. And the Silencer, I know Silencer is considered a hard counter to Ember because he can't Remnant away. But, like you pointed out, I feel like stuns may be a bit better than a Silencer. It's kind of an all-in.
Silencer's also really good against Dazzle. Like, a defensive support that's getting no farm priority can't ever cast his spells in global. You're never going to get a Yules for the first 20-30 minutes, so it completely cancels the hero out, and as you said, it's really good against Ember. So it's a solid ban.
Yeah. It'll also be interesting to see if this Queen of Pain decides to rush the Orchid, because as you mentioned, Silence really powerful here, and it's always good to force Ember to have to go Manta or BKB. So
I think it's really game dependent. If she gets off to a good start, it's really good for sure. But if it's past the 18-minute mark, I want to say, I feel like most of the strength is gone.
Yeah. So
plus, whenever I played, I always felt like Orchid QoP was a game-losing item choice. But a lot of that's changed recently.
Yeah. As you point out, it kind of depends on where you get it. There comes a tipping point where it's like, you probably shouldn't have gone the Orchid and you should have just rushed Ags and maybe gotten a Sheep to lock down an Ember because he gets big enough that he's not as worried about your Orchid. But either way, the Disruptor ban out, it seems like another Ember counter, although it's something they could have picked up themselves on Team Fade. It would have meant that they didn't really have a good lot of stuns between their supports, though. And
I don't think they'd have looked to pick it up, but yeah, it's really good to ban it against Ember.
the IO ban out. Now, I don't know if Team Fade plays this. I don't know if they're worried about it on Chappa. Like, relocating Ember isn't the scariest thing to me, but I know Ember can already be mobile since he likes to go bots. You add in IO, maybe you just don't feel safe anywhere on your map as Chappa.
You can also look at it as when you ban Disruptor, IO's naturally like countered by Disruptor in some ways, so it could be them perceiving what Fade want to pick next with that ban and preemptively banning it out. And I know for a fact Fade has run like Wisp in the past, so
yeah,
I know they play it.
And Chappa just going with that Wyvern. I love this pickup. I feel like a lot of people do the dual mid for a wave. You know, both mids will have somebody there to help them get some last hits on that first wave. And then, yeah, they're gonna have a pretty dominant performance if Wyvern comes mid at all, just because Ember doesn't have an escape till level 6.
5 seconds.
Yeah, it is completely cancer to go mid against Quap when there's a Winter Wyvern sitting in your lane at level 1.
Yeah. That
There's
Arctic
nothing
burn.
you can do about it. Even if Dazzle's there, like, he just doesn't care. He just hits you once, maybe twice, get healed, and, like, job's done. You miss 2 or 3 creeps just for that.
Yeah.
But getting the Tusk is really good here. It gives them a way to put some aggression on the map.
Do you think it's a support Tusk or an offlane Tusk?
I think it's going to depend where they think the Quap is going to go, because if they get... Okay, it's probably going to be offlane with that, because they're going to put some kind of dual lane bottom, and they're going to have the Wyvern anti-mage top, so Tusk should be able to like get experience there. They can't really zone him out, I feel like, unless they commit the Undying there, and if they do, then that's a win for Fade. So it could still be support, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's a very good offlane hero, and I know Microb likes his Tusk.
Yeah, and I think it's something where you can certainly... It's maybe a bit harder here, but if he can get enough form to get a blink, there are a couple things he can save teammates from. Or, while you can't save the unit who is cursed by putting them in a snowball, you can sometimes pick up the allies who are attacking the cursed unit and just stuff them in a snowball. So...
You snowball through the target as well, it has some really weird effects.
Okay, can you like actually pick
them up on the way?
I didn't think of that one, but yeah, that's a good one. And a Beastmaster. Okay, so now, not sure if this guy is mid or off lane, but he's been really popular right now. A lot of people, I think, underestimate the Inner Beast passive, and of course the Hawk Vision. One of the few vision spells that wasn't nerfed.
Yeah, Vision is game winning. I'm curious how they'll lane it though. I'd favour having a support Tusk at this point and picking something else up, because they don't really have a way to end the game right now, and they're obviously under pressure if they already have their free cores, because they do not have late game. So I'd expect it's a Tusk support now, and they're looking for either a mid or a safe lane hero here.
I do hope
which Chappa agrees with by banning the SF.
I hope they run on Fade one of those lanes where it's Tusk trying to harass out Anti-Mage with maybe the Beastmaster comes up there. I'm not sure of the best combo. The Boar can be a big pain, but I showed Snowball potential on an Anti-Mage, even though he has a blink. You can sometimes kill him if he's not careful. So...
Yeah, Tusk's really good at just messing with your safe lane, because he has really stupid base stats, and he hits pretty hard, and his spells are ridiculously strong. So... he can just disrupt your farming patterns a lot, which is really strong.
So,
especially if you pair him with like Beastmaster or something, it just gives him the ability to get off to a start he normally wouldn't.
10 seconds remaining.
Do you think that Team Fade, do you see a good carry here, which can help bring them, you know, some late game, but also keep them... You know, some of the carries, you just have to sit back and protect them, and I don't think that's how Team Fade necessarily want to play with a Tusk. So there's some good options here for a carry that would help them out.
I'd look towards Gyro personally, I think. It's like aggressive and it also offers some kind of late game.
I feel like he really suffers against Anti-Mage though. Well, that's once Anti-Mage gets online.
You at least have Beastmaster to catch him, but you kind of try to peek with the Gyro before the Anti-Mage becomes like uncatchable around the 30-minute mark.
Yep. And that's an
but
Invoker.
The Invoker's weird.
I see some nice things here. I think it's going to be an offlane Quap then. The Invoker can purge off what? You can purge off the Flame God here. I think that's actually about it. Maybe he just thinks he'll have a really great time against Ember.
10
I don't
seconds
think it's a good mid matchup if you go against an Ember as
5
Invoker.
seconds
Maybe if you go Exhort, but it's still quite risky.
Yeah.
Depends what they pick up here though. They
Reserve
could
time.
still pick another mid hero,
And this'll
which
do it.
is probably what that is.
Yeah.
And that's even worse matchup, so...
Yeah, Invoker
However-
doesn't win his lane a lot, right? Or he doesn't super dominate lanes.
No, that's a thing of the past, for sure.
So,
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how much the Quap and Undying can do to the safe lane of Fade. If they put Dazzle, Tusk, and Ember there, or hell, they could even put Windrunner there if they're really scared. It's quite a hard lane to shut down at all. So they have to put a lot of pressure there to at least stop the supports getting something out of it, and then let the Winter Wyvern and Anti-Mage completely fuck the Beastmaster.
yeah,
Because
that's
if he has a good game,
10
the
seconds
Beastmaster or the
remaining.
Anti-Mage, if he has a good game. Because it feels like Anti-Mage might be able to...
5 seconds remaining.
I feel like Wyvern brings a lot of support, and I do expect the Wyvern to be roaming, but I think it might be a weird Undying Winter Wyvern tri-lane, and there is a weird drawing on the map, so... But
I have an echo for you, and I don't know why.
did you mute your co-caster?
No, I did not.
Excellent.
Alright.
We found it.
Done.
Done.
Thank you.
Excellent. So we're gonna be introducing the teams. I'm gonna grab Chappa, and then we'll swap next game. So we've got Anba, that is not your real name, on the Wyvern. Nort on that Undying. Nick Ariel on... Actually, I can't click on Nick Ariel. He may be on the Undying. Nope, nope. Oh gosh,
He's on
thank you,
Quap.
Dota. Yeah, I just can't click on him here. It's really weird. I also don't have hero profile pictures, do you?
Yeah, I think I do.
Oh, you do? Okay,
I
don't.
just used the scoreboard for this.
Oh, I just, like, don't have... It's Reborn. I don't have pictures of the heroes. Like, I can see them in-game, but I don't have their pretty little faces on the boxes. Either way, it's gonna be Pasha Invoker on that Invoker. And finally, Anti-Mage being played up by Dodgers Dota, which is not, again, his real name either. These rosters, they're not always so strict. But tossing it over to you to introduce Fade, who I believe are tagged up correctly.
I think most of them are, yeah. You've got Go Audio on the Tusk, Corey, aka 679 on the Windrunner, Senior Hydra on the Ember, Microb on the Beastmaster, and STN on the Dazzle.
And apparently I was wrong. Apparently this is Chappa's new roster. So Anba is Anba's name. It's just Anba. Yeah, that's a choice. So we're gonna get into it. Do you favor either team here heavily, just looking at the drafts?
I think if the early laning stage goes well for Fade, then it's going to be really hard for Chappa to do much. But otherwise, I'd favor Chappa, I think, because this is a pretty good anti-mage game, I'd say. As long as the Windrunner and Beastmaster don't get a massive head start, it's really hard for them to do anything about you.
Yeah.
And Fade don't have the best way of ending the game early. They have Windrunner and Beastmaster to push towers, but it's nothing substantial.
Feels like unless the Beastmaster gets very lucky and gets like Blink Necro 3 ridiculously early, as you said, they can't end the game. And also that Blink would be instrumental in locking
30
down the
seconds to
AM.
battle.
But Blink Primal Roar, unless you have the damage to back it up, might not be enough to pick him off. So...
At least they have the Windrunner to follow it up, though. Before it was like quite hard for them. Because
Yeah.
Tusk snowballing in isn't necessarily the best follow-up.
I think she might be forced into an early Blink Dagger on the Windrunner. Maybe just Ags and then Blink immediately to start trying to pick off AM, but of course it does depend on how well her farm goes. And...
You can definitely do like Axe first or Blink first, depends on the game. How well she does. But the dire side of like warded off the pull camp for Radiant, which is really important for their offlane to do well.
And they've actually, Wyvern's going for an early courier snipe. I don't know how many times you've seen this, but the Winter's Curse to kill the courier. Even though you're ranged, you're gonna get it, and there she goes. 2-hit. Goodbye, courier.
Radiant's courier
And,
has been killed.
yep, that sucks. And I think Wyvern will get out of this A-okay as well. Even with Ice Shards or Snowballs, she should be fine. So that's pretty hard for Ember Spirit now.
That's actually a really game-winning play. Having the ward behind the towers kind of justified because of that, otherwise it would have been a pretty bad ward, I feel. But now the Ember's going to have like no advantage in the mid lane, like he should have. Because a few hits from the Invoker is going to bring him low enough, and he's not going to have his bottle for the next 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Or 2 minutes, sorry.
I think maybe, how do you respond to this? Do you just try to double down on your other lanes now that you know Ember's not going to have a big advantage? And actually, they're going to snowball onto Wyvern. Can Ember get in range? I think he'll skill. He actually has 2 skill points that he has left. Wyvern is way out in no man's land, trying to fly over the cliff, but is going to get out. So that terrain blocking and Undying, taking a lot of damage. Can Windrunner get in range for anything? She's still level 1. She just has to walk over and auto him. I don't think this is worth it for the Windrunner. Feels like just a bit of a distraction.
Well, forcing a salvo is pretty good. The less regen they have on that lane means that they have less laning presence.
And I missed that one as I was
up.
watching down bottom. It looks like Mikrob, the Tusk was still chasing, used a second snowball there, and just caught up to Wyvern, and now Undying still taking her ass in bottom. So nice that they got the first blood, and I believe Beastmaster got it, so that's going to help his lane out a lot.
Steal from the slow.
At least they get something, because... never mind, they're going on mid with Tusk, but I don't think it's going to be a kill.
Oh,
No,
they
never
get the
mind,
searing
have
chains. Yeah. That's something else I feel like a lot of people underestimate when against the Ember Spirit. If you're out of position at all, he kills you. It doesn't matter if you're a Quap, if you're an Invoker. You go down because the Searing Chains Flame God combo is really strong.
It's kind of misplay from the Invoker to let that happen, because he knew the Tusk was top, so the obvious rotation is to like run this way, to at least go back to your side of the map and maybe put pressure on mid. So he should not have been that far up, and he has no way of cancelling the Flame Guards without having any levels in his Wax, so I think that's just a huge misplay, honestly.
Yeah.
But he's like, before that death, he was dominating the lane. So when the Ember went for the Winter Wyvern with the Tusk, like, he missed at least 3 or 4 creeps, which is really big, I think.
Yeah, not only that, but the Ember, as you pointed out, was doing a lot better in this mid lane, and then, of course, not having the bottle, he has to back out. He knows he can't play as aggressively, and he's even bothering to make his own stacks, realizing he's not going to get much out of that lane. This Beastmaster, though, he's level 4. I was expecting him to take much more severe harass. I think the Wyvern being dead early in the game really helped him get those early levels, and now with 2 boars up that do quite a bit of harass, I mean, they took a 1/4 of Wyvern's health. I don't know if Beastmaster's being pushed out of this lane anymore.
Well, because the Wyvern started mid with the Courier Snipe, like, Beastmaster's going to be at least level 2 by the time he gets to the lane, and you can't zone him then. Like, it's actually impossible for the Wyvern to do anything in this lane now. So the Anti-Mage is just going to suffer a lot, and the Beastmaster's going to have a really good game, which is probably the only thing going well for Fade, because the Invoker's doing really well mid. The Anti-Mage is, like, missing some CS, but he's farming well, and Windrunner's pressured bottom, so...
Yeah, there's a lot of trouble
I'd say
down
the
bottom.
winning lanes.
Dazzle just went down as well. Looks like he was just a little bit out of position, and yeah, it does.
I think this Quap's dead bottom. Just gets shot. Never mind, he can blink and salvo.
Yeah, got very lucky there, Nicoril getting out. A lot of action this game. I was expecting much more action around where the Tusk is, but a lot of the lanes bringing us some action. As you point out, Anti-Mage is now back up to topping the net worth shot, although Invoker doing a little bit of damage with the Cold Snap. Can he get more? Oh, misses the Tornado. And there's the Searing Chains. Now Pasha's taking a lot of damage under tower. He needs a bit of help. They immediately use that Shallow Grave. Tusk goes down elsewhere, and they can't kill off Invoker. It looks like the Wyvern killed off the Tusk. Couldn't get the Beastmaster. But look at how much damage Dodger's Dota took to get that.
He's got ring and regen though, so he's fine. The Invoker actually misplayed that. Other than missing the Tornado, if he just auto-attacked the Ember once more before the Dazzler TP'd in, he would have got the kill. So maybe some kind of panic coming out. But it was a really good rotation from the Undying, picking up the Invis rune and going for the kill with level 2 Sorip.
He
kind of has a... Oh my god.
Oh, he doesn't have any points in Tombstone. I know it's now weaker in the early game, but I still think it's well worth picking it up.
I think this is definitely the way to go at level 2, because you have so much more killing potential. This Tombstone's very hard to abuse at low levels now, because you can just focus it with any heroes. And when you have 2 ranged heroes like Windrunner and Dazzle in a lane, it's 2 seconds to kill it.
Yeah.
And Sorip is a... It's a 100 damage... No, it's 180 damage nuke at level 1. For reduction, if you have all the creeps in range. So, that's insane.
Yeah, and taking a look at the net worth, we can see that Chappa's a little bit ahead in both gold and experience, but nothing to write home about. It's pretty negligible. And Undying, going for the wraparound play, I think Windrunner will just walk it off. No, she doesn't have Windrunner, but she does pop her wand charges, and she's gonna be fine. Very close there. So,
Considering the draft, it's really good that Chappa are ahead this early.
yeah.
But I expect it to change as soon as you get Roar up on Beastmaster, which he's really close to now. And the Ember has a TP and he's about to hit level 6, so he could either rotate top and kill the Wyvern, or the Beastmaster could rotate mid and kill the Ember, the Invoker, sorry, really easily.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see some rotations for the anti-mage. I think we all know, we've seen that guy, he will outfarm you unless you shut him down. If you can delay the Battle Fury, every moment counts. Actually, Ember going a little bit ham on mid. He's got some backup. There's the Snowball. Where's the Searing Chains? No, they can't. They dust him. Pasha taking a lot of damage. There's the Heal Bomb as well, and that's a very dead Invoker. And as you said, kind of the immediate rotations, knowing that they have a good amount of points in that Flame God.
I feel like the Wyvern should have TP'd there. He definitely had one, and he has level 3, so he's got the point in Cold Embrace. That's like...
I think the Flame God would have out-ticked the Cold Embrace, though, at level 1 Cold Embrace.
But they were under the tower for like 5 seconds or so. That's enough time to TP and heal him up before the majority of the damage. I don't know.
And
I feel
maybe
like
also get off a
protecting the
Splinter
Evoker
Blast,
more.
right? Yeah. Maybe get a return kill. So it's something
Yeah,
where...
at least do something, because they have no vision around this middle area, and the Evoker's just, like, literally going to feed again.
Oh, yeah, they're going in on him again. There's a Snowball. Is there gonna be... Triple Remnant, but here come the TPs, and they don't have anything else on this Ember Spear. Searing Chains does land, but the Tusk is already dead. Wyvern gonna throw a Splinter Blast. Will it kill the Ember? He's got a tiny slither of health, but I think he's slowed. They're gonna get up on this high ground. One more auto attack, and that's what you were talking about. Invoker got one of those kills. It seemed like a bit of a misplay from the Tusk there a little bit too, but really not... They were deep under the tower, and you can't dive those tier 1s this early in the game.
That's what I was saying, but when the Tusk went in, the creep wave just came, so Ember didn't have the 100% shackle on the Invoker, and the Wyvern also came, which obviously made the big difference for getting the double kill, which is a really big deal. This Invoker is going to be a huge problem this game.
Oh, Undying has DC'd. I also wanted to say, I think it's sometimes important, sometimes supports don't rotate, but I think it's really important because also, even if your mid dies, if your support gets a solo kill, like solo experience kill on someone, it can really help them level. You never want to lose your mid, but if your support gets an early level 6 because your mid died once, that's kind of fantastic.
Yeah, it sometimes makes it worth it, but at least he did TP the second time, because after the first one, I think he could have done something, but now he's done it the second time, it's definitely helped out a lot, and as you can see from the net worth, game's like slowly falling out of favor for Fade.
Yeah. I think... Oh,
sorry, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think that to just deal with this though, Fade has to get maybe more aggressive about their smokes. The Tusk can be very mobile, can really lock people down, and as you pointed out, Primal Roar will be up. It is up, he just needs enough mana. So maybe it's time for Meek Rob to go home, get ready to get put in a snowball, and Primal Roar someone.
I think it's really hard for the Tusk to do anything to the bottom lane because the clock can always blink out. So I think the play has to be for him to meet up with the Beastmaster and smoke to... I guess you can kill the Invoker. You need Dust for that, but they should have it. There's one on the Tusk.
Yeah.
The Windrunner's really struggling bottom as well, so hell, maybe even rotate her top with the Tusk and then you kill the Anti-Mage. He's actually under a lot of pressure as he had to blink into the trees from Mikrob when he dropped to the Raw, but he lived, which is a big deal.
Mikrob was very close, so didn't quite see him hiding in the trees there, and as you point out, it's a long cooldown on Primal Roar, but I think it's worth it. It forces Anti-Mage out of the lane for about 30 seconds because he has to go home. So, yeah, you didn't get the kill, it would have been better, but you still have stopped his farming for 30-odd seconds. But, Windrunner...
You could argue it's actually better that he didn't die.
Yeah, I don't know if
what you said.
Is it early enough levels, though, that it's still not good enough? Because I know sometimes, like, really early levels, it's better to force them to walk home. But, you know, Anti-Mage is 7.
He's back in farming now, so I think it would be about the same. Obviously, Mikrob getting the gold would have helped. But if you look at the Anti-Mage's build, he's invested a lot into sustaining, so He's really feeling the pressure from
Oh
the
gosh, we have a
Speedmaster.
tornado, and they're taking all of their mana. They're all trying to TP out to help up top. Not quite sure what that was, but I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, they get Tusk on the bottom.
Oh, I was watching top.
I am not even sure exactly what the plan was. Maybe they were going... What happened to Beastmaster up top? Was he taking a lot of damage?
The Wyvern just flanked with the Arctic Burn, and then
Okay.
the Dazzle TP'd in. Wasn't anything big.
I think that's why they TP'd so many up top, except unfortunately they TP'd right in front of a Cyclone from Invoker. So he saw them and went. But we're gonna have 3 up top. Do you try for an early push here, or do you just, like, kind of just stay there enough for Anti-Mage to feel safe and then everybody leaves so Anti-Mage can get farm?
They're under no pressure to do anything this game. If they secure the farm, it's all they need to do. They're ahead on all 3 of their cores at the moment. Their supports are doing better in their respective positions as well, even though it's slight. It's really good early game start for Chappa.
Yeah.
The Wyvern needs to get 6, probably pick up a smoke and go with the Invoker, go into the Radiant Woods, get a ward down, and try to kill the Ember, I think, would be the biggest play they could do in the next few minutes.
Speaking of smokes, though, we have one coming in middle. I'm assuming the Tusk has Dusk. Yes, he does. There's going to be a Primal Roar. Snowball in. Axes. It doesn't look like they might not. They do have enough damage just there. One more auto attack. No, but the Soul Rip and the Tombstone suddenly not enough damage. There's the Shallow Grave, but I think Fate is going down, and there are so many zombies. Flame God is knocked off by that tornado. Searing Chains, but we can see Ember Spirit already so low, he might tick out to the Bloody Dagger. And this disastrous team fight, the fact that Invoker was stayed up alive for so long, 2 more auto attacks, they managed to get the co-op. At least that's something. It turns out to be a good trade for Fade, but I thought for sure that Invoker was going down, but so much sustain coming out of Undying, and Invoker popped 1 charges.
Don't mind if I do.
I don't know if you can even call that a win for Fade. Sure, they get the co-op, so it's at least something, but they rotated 5 heroes for 1 kill.
Yeah.
And the Anti-Mage is just doing his thing top, which is really good for Chappa. He's going to get a kill on the Dazzle here, I think, unless he fogs him. The Tusk grabs him in the Snowball. EMP goes down.
Oh, he's
Dazzle
very
should
dead.
drop.
Yeah, no escape from that EMP. Pasha Invoker will just take a little bit of damage maybe, but he is getting ready to... If he needs... Never mind, he's got help. This is going to be a very dead Tusk, and Pasha Invoker is like 2 hits away. If the Sigil could catch up, but it's so slow, and they've got Ember Spirit chasing as well, but a high ground Tombstone. Oh gosh, they managed to kill off Nord. Pasha Invoker again! 30 health.
That's a really good play from the Undying, securing the fact they can't go on the Invoker any further. With the Tombstone on the high ground and tanking the death. It's a really smart play.
Totally
Getting the
worth
Invoker
it.
kill would have been really big.
And it's, you know, the net worth has stopped going super in favor of Chappa, but it's still definitely in their ballpark. And this Beastmaster, for all that he's got, he is now working on Necro first. I think a Blink also really popular here. What's kind of the differences between if you go Blink first or Necro Books first?
Necro's going to be better for when you want to actually fight them, as opposed to try and play the pick-off game with a Blink. Which I think they can't really do much with a Blink, because the follow-up's really lacking right now. They don't have the damage to kind of utilize the Blink too much. But it looks like Microb's getting initiated on here top.
Yeah, Microb taking a lot of damage. There's gonna just be auto attacks. He might get some support. No, he pops 1 charges. Where is his team? He doesn't have any board to pop, and AM does have the ult. It does nothing though, and the Shallow Grave. Dazzle, I'm a bit surprised they didn't go for a heal bomb on the AM, but probably just content to get Microb out alive there, and that seems worth it since AM wasn't farming creeps while all of that.
It's good that he lives. As you say, he needs to get his Necro book up to actually be doing something, but Ember dives in mid with Spirit, forces out a TP from the pop.
Yeah,
going in
but
for the kill.
if he dies here, it's not worth the Undying. Are they gonna put him in the Snowball? No, he just goes for the deny. I like that play. I thought he might just try to Snowball save him. But
Yeah,
Invoker
the deny was
now.
definitely better though. He was dead for sure.
Oh gosh, and now they're opening onto Tusk. He should be able to snowball in. Actually, the Quap blinks over the top of him. Her position is now poor, and there's the Primal Roar. Pasha Invoker is going down, and Quap has nothing on the sidelines. A nice turnaround kill, as you pointed out. They needed that kill on the Invoker. And another pause. This is pause gaming a bit.
I expect the counter question mark from
Oh.
Chappa after what Fate has done earlier.
Oh, yeah.
But
Some-
now the Winter Wyverns hit 6, they can definitely start being more aggressive on the map. They're already ahead, but if the Wyvern can smoke with either the next pop ult or when Invoker feels like he can accompany him to the enemy woods and get some vision, it's going to really restrict the amount of space that Fade has to farm. And if the Quap just has a free lane to pick up, like, I'm gonna guess she's going eggs. It just makes her, like, really efficient.
Pretty sure she's going... pretty sure she's going eggs just because Invoker has an Orchid. Oh, he's building the Orchid, so...
I don't think you can warrant Orchid on a Quap that's a free position.
So...
Even if it's going really well, it's still dubious. But it's really hard for them to kill the Quap without, as you said earlier, the blink on Beastmaster. There's no blink on the Windrunner either, so you can blink dodge the Shackle, and you can always blink the Snowball if you see it coming. So the Quap can pretty much just static farm bottom, do what she wants. If she gets any kind of vision in the enemy woods, pretty good for Chappa. Hopefully they do that. At least try and smoke with the Wyvern. I don't feel you want to be passive with this hero when he hits 6.
Yeah, I think it's really valuable. A lot of people try to hold their ultis. Oh, basically they're like, hey, I want to get a really, Enigmas who don't always use their ulti until much later in the game so they can get a big black hole. I think it's worth it just to pop it on even one, as long as you get that kill, because it's use it or lose it. So, but Micro...
Go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, but just Microbe chilling in middle, and maybe they're just trying to go get some early push damage on, and you were saying...
Radiant's top tower
I feel like when you have a really good understanding of the game, you can look at it in the way that I'm not going to fight with a 5-on-5 for the next X amount of minutes, so if you drop your ulti for like 1 kill, and then you're not fighting in that window, then it's not a loss at all. It's only a gain.
100% agree with that, and Windrunner, okay, so you've got a lot of really mobile heroes. I really feel like against a Quap, against an anti-mage, you probably do want Blink after the Aghanims. It just feels like Windrunner has a huge mountain to climb because she didn't have a great time in lane, and she needs damage, but she needs to help with the initiation, and that's a lot to ask of one hero.
Considering she's not farming too badly, I'm a bit surprised she doesn't have any levels in Focus Fire to at least like pressure towers when heroes aren't in the lane, but they obviously feel they need the lockdown from the Shackle to be able to catch these more mobile heroes. Like the Quap and the AM.
I think
Speaking of the AM, he's nearly at his Battle Fury, he just needs one more component.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. It's not, it's pretty good timing on that AM, considering the changes to how much creeps get, but they threw out the Weave onto the Invoker. That was a long range win. Yeah.
They dropped a Roar, Ember flanked from behind, so this is going to look like a tower trade, I think, where the AM pushes in mid and they go for a 3-man push top.
And they...
It's a really good trade for Fade, I think.
Yeah,
Even TPing in mid to defend with the Dazzle.
Bit dangerous there, because here comes Invoker, gonna use that Tornado to set things up, and the Queen of Pain is here. She might just auto-attacking for funsies, so... Losing out on the Dazzle as well, but they should be able to get top tower. And while mid's super important for the Radiant, well, both teams love their mid tower. You get the top, you can invade AM's jungle a bit more easily. So
I feel like that's just autopilot Dota from the Dazzle. There's no logical reason to TP in there. So it's a shame he died. The tower was dead regardless. If he didn't die, it would have been a really good trade, I feel like, but now it's a bit more even.
Unfortunately, it looks like Fade didn't have any vision on this side of the map, right? They've only got the one ward looking up over here. So, didn't have any idea on the Dazzle that he was being collapsed on, but it's a bit questionable as well. It feels like even though Fade, they're not super jungling, they should have this area warded, and I believe one of their stacks got taken by the Quap. So, you've got to always keep an eye on that. So, they're positioning...
Another thing about...
Oh.
Go on, sorry.
They were just positioning top as if they wanted to get something done, and then I guess realizing they can't keep pushing. You were saying?
Another thing when you push these enemy safe lane as tower is you kind of want to invade their jungle with a ward, and because Dazzle TP'd mid and died with the only ward that Radiant has, they had no ability to instantly ward up the enemy woods. Looks like he's going to do it now while they push bottom. So he knows he's safe, so he gets some kind of trade out of it at least. But with that tower going down, I expect Chappa to do the same thing with the one ward they have on the Undying. And the Wyvern's TPing top to push that out now.
Maybe they can no, there's more support coming up. It feels like they really don't have wards on Fade, and I hadn't noticed if they got dewarded. They get the Searing Chains onto the co-op, though. Immediate Cold Embrace, and I don't know, Primal Roar, can they get it off? There it goes. Do they have enough damage, though, with the axes? Hell yes. And now, that's not the best of Winter's Curse, especially since nobody was TPing in. I think I would have considered it a good Winter's Curse for holding him in place, but there was no response from Chappa, so just kind of a free co-op.
That Cold Embrace killed him for sure.
He was probably yelling at his teammate there.
It's so easily done though. You just like react when you're playing that hero. It's like, oh shit, my carry's being gone on. I cast my spell, and then you get CC'd afterwards, and you're like just face palming, going, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Please don't flame me. But they're pushing mid now after the Quap's dead. She's gonna respawn with her ulti though. I don't think they can defend without the Wyvern, and they're not already in place. This is another tower for Fade. So they're getting a lot more control of the map now.
At the
It's
same
going to be
time,
amplified by the fact they have a Beastmaster.
yeah. AM is farming up a storm down bottom. He's going to be very closely having that Vladimir, as he has a really good Battle Fury timing, including the headdress. But here comes Pasha Invoker, immediately silencing up the Dazzle. Queen of Pain comes into. Tornado actually hits on the Windrunner. Thought it was a miss, but maybe that was on purpose, and the Shackle doesn't latch. Tombstone in the middle of them. That Snowball's not gonna, it's gonna hit Pasha. Just, there's a Shallow Grave on himself, on the Dazzle, but everybody looking very low. Tusk is dead. Ember Spirit's going in hand, but another Cold Embrace, just meaning they can't get too much done, and he has to blink out. They do get the Shackle shot on Nick Real. The Quap is gonna go down. Can Ember Spirit escape? But here comes Fade. Oh, she's got the Wind Run. They need a little bit more help. They just used the AM ult, and now Pasha Invoker might fall here to the Ember. No, his Flame Guard's been burned off, and he's gonna turn. Oh, he doesn't have Invis on cooldown, so Ember just falls to the silence. Really good team fight for Chappa.
I feel like that's his pure outplay. They didn't even have the curse to like counter-initiate that fight. So that's a really big win for Chappa, honestly. I think Fade were just getting a bit too confident, or maybe feeling they needed to force something. So they could definitely have gotten out there if they just like said, alright, we're gonna sack one hero, we know this is a bad fight, we should back out. But instead they committed to it and lost a lot more.
Yeah.
So, bad ball making, or just bad awareness, I guess.
Yeah, and as you said, it might have just been that they felt more confident in the fight and it didn't end up working out. But a good gold and experience swing now coming out for Chappa, and they're gonna try to go on this Queen of Pain bottom, but I don't know if they have the jump or anything. Snowball in, she's gonna get away from that every time. Although Windrunner does have her Ags finished up.
They're smoking with the Windrunner and the Beastmaster now into the enemy woods. Looking for a wraparound on top, I guess. They probably don't know that the Invoker's invis, so this could turn around.
Yeah, a nice thing is, though, that neither of these two heroes can call in any backup with the towers gone, and actually AM blinks closer into the Beastmaster. There's the Primal Roar and the Shackle Shot, shooting him from downtown, and I don't think Dodger's Dota has a way out, and they managed to get the pick off. Invoker is here, but not gonna have a follow-up, so fantastic kill on the AM. Much needed.
That was really close. They massively overlapped their stuns. If he had a stick or just was on strength treads, he could definitely have gotten away there, I feel like. So it was really fortunate he did not get away, because that's a really big kill, as you said.
It's
They
also...
need stuff like that to happen.
I thought it was funny that they focus fired from the low ground, because she definitely missed a few times. I mean, there was no
I think
option.
That's just like, yeah, as you say, when you see that, it's just like, oh shit, I need to do something.
Yeah.
And you're not always in the optimal position.
But they got a bit of luck there. What do you got? Okay, so I've seen a lot of Invokers used to like to pick up the Midas. Obviously, level's fantastic on this hero. He's got an Orchid. What do you build now? Do you rush Ags? I say as he's about to go for a kill, but kind of whiffing it through the silence too early, it looks like. EMP gonna come out. They're gonna get hit by this. Both of them losing a lot, and now Invoker, he's got dust on him, so he can't invis right now. The Heal Bomb coming out. More than enough, and they get Pasha Invoker as well. So his item progression...
Yeah, massively overextending there, I guess. But for what the Invoker goes next, I kind of feel like he's going to want a BKB for the Tusks and the Windrunner shit. And even just the Necro books can be really annoying.
Does
Could also go like Blink.
Yeah.
For more initiation. Undyne's gonna get TP cancelled here by the Beastmaster Roar. So that means they can't defend bottom anymore, which is good.
Normally
He's even
also
gonna
go
get a kill
down.
out
Yeah,
of
he's just dead. And nice fat tombstone from Mikrob. But here comes Dodger's Dota. Let's see if he can do anything. They need to keep attacking up. Oh gosh, he has no more mana. They're just stealing all of it. This Beastmaster's killing an AM.
That was a very optimistic blink from the AM. definitely does not respect the Necro book.
Yeah, and the Necro book showed him those are level 3 Necro creeps. So I was gonna ask if the Necro creeps it's called Warrior Lost Will damage. You know when you kill the melee Necro creep, it like pops out some damage. Does that go through BKB?
No, it's magic.
Okay, so
getting BKB helps against that a lot.
yeah.
Poker's looking for a kill on mid, but the Dazzle's sat behind her, so it's good positioning. But if he finds for Dazzle, then it could be bad.
Yeah, Quap's coming in too, though, so maybe they're gonna go on the Ember and have a bad time. Dazzle is here, as you said, needs to get something off on. There it is, the Shallow Grave. EMP does hit, but they're all okay, and suddenly realizing on Chappa they have gone too far, but the TP is cancelled. Do they have something to lock her down? She blinks away and pops her wand, going from about 10 to 250 health. And the Windrunner just wasn't in the area, so wasn't able to. I think she's buying up for the blink. She's got a lot of gold saved up.
That's just massive space creation from Chappa. Was a tiny bit risky, but because it wasn't punished, they're just making like AM's life so much easier. But now there's a 5-man smoke coming out from Fade. I expect them to look to go for a pick and go to Roche with the medallion, but it looks like they're going towards top instead to try and find the anti-mage.
Yeah, it's
With
a
the
bit...
Hawk Vision, they can definitely get this.
He may have... It's nighttime, though. They didn't get the Searing Chains, and now I don't think they can get over to him in time. The boar almost touching him, so a bit of a whiff. If the Searing Chains combo had actually latched, but Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, not always the easiest to hit. And Emperor Spirit's going a Yules. I'm used to seeing the Monta or the BKB to deal with Silence, not a Yules.
I think he's tilting for sure. There's no way you can justify getting a Yules, in my opinion.
It doesn't make much sense. Okay, so are there maybe some other things this can also deal with?
Well, I guess it kind of helps you farm a bit, and it makes you feel a lot safer split pushing, which is a really big thing when you're against an Invoker and he has an Orchid and a way to lock you down. But I kind of feel like it's playing to lose. Like, this item's not going to win you the game. It might stop you like losing it a bit harder, but there's a roar on Quap top as they're going in. But I think he's fine.
Yeah, and they got the Roshan, and Quap, of course, none of that Shadow Wave hurts her in the Cold Embrace because it blocks all physical. Beastmaster ambitious TP out, but without the Winter's Curse, Mana gonna be fine. And AM now looking maybe for a kill onto Mr. Mr. Ember Spirit. But that Yules, I wonder.
I mean, I can understand it, but it's not a game-winning item for sure.
Still needs, I feel like on an Ember you have to go Battle Fury, you have to go Crit Stick. They're just, I don't see better item pickups.
Well, you definitely want to get a Manta this game because of the Orchid.
Oh, Invoker's gonna find Dazzle, and he's gonna go on Dazzle, no way out. Windrunner's probably just gonna TP out, yeah, has picked up her Blink Dagger.
I guess the other thing is you can dodge the EMP from Invoker, which is probably a very significant thing, but I still don't feel like it's good enough. Like, you're just a spellcaster at this point with bots. You literally contribute nothing except 1 or 2 slight chains of fight.
Yeah. I think...
And AM stealing an Ancient stack here as well.
Oh, really that's rough. I was gonna talk about how we're about 7.5 thousand net experience ahead on Chappa, and you can see it in the levels. They've got level 2 ultis on almost everyone, which is always helpful. Dazzle's Weave not doing enough minus armor that they'll be able to auto people down right now, so... Although they are getting a really good tower trade.
Yeah, I feel like Chappa should definitely have defended this. The Wyvern has TP ready, so letting them get this tier 2 for a tier 1 is a really bad trade.
And they'll get damage on the tier 3 as well. They have more than enough creeps to get something on it. Yeah, they'll get about a fourth of it. Maybe more, depending on how things go. So I think that's actually really good for Fade, considering the position they're in. They are definitely behind.
Another thing to note is Chappa warded off the Radiant Ancients with an Obs Ward. I actually feel like that's a bad thing to do because the Anti-Mage can freely farm those Ancients whenever he wants. If you get vision around the area, he knows he's safe. And Radiant don't really have the best heroes to farm Ancients. Like, Windrunner can focus fire the big ones and slowly take it down, but it's not very... more of like a farm rotation. But if you're looking at stacks, there's no one that can actually clear them. Because Ember doesn't have any damage.
Oh, we're
He's
gonna have a
massive
bit of a
punch.
go in this bottom lane. The Searing Chains don't seem to latch on anybody. Here comes Windrunner, but there's gonna be a big EMP. She's already focus firing Pasha Invoker. He's healed up by that Soul Rip, and she just can't attack him anymore in that physical damage. I think she's gonna go down on the Windrunner inevitably to the zombies. There's a Soul Rip just to make sure she goes down. Ember's trying to escape. He does manage to no, he gets hit by the tornado, so there's no more Flame God. He's just gonna burn out here. And this could just be the beginning of the end, right? Chappa has finally said, we want to come fight. We're not going to split or push the other side of the game, or the other side of the map, and they're really pulling ahead.
Considering there's 2 minutes left on the Aegis as well, I don't feel like can be that far up and looking to have any sort of engagement. He's also going to cut the creep wave mid and then push him bottom. But he actually gets Rod and Necro puts drop.
They've stolen
So
all of
he's
his
gonna lose
mana.
Aegis,
Yeah, this... Well played, losing an Aegis. I don't know if they have any more follow-up, but well done. They burnt the Aegis. Maybe they can do something to the Invoker, but no, he's gonna turn around. There's a Walrus Punch, but not enough.
I mean, losing it there means they can't put as much pressure on the tier 3, which is a really good thing for Fade, but it's not that big a deal. They're actually going to try and defend the tier 2. The CMP is going to zone them out a lot.
Yeah,
And
but
Tusk
not
is
if they
probably
get
gonna-
snowballed. It looks like Pasha Invoker. Oh, the Winter's Curse, and Mikrob walks right into it. Sonic Wave as well. They've picked off the Tusk, and now Mikrob taking a lot of damage. Shallow Grave helping him, but there are so many units around here. Mikrob, if he can TP out, that'll be fantastic. Hopefully he won't die in the fountain. And here comes the Ember Spirit trying to get away, but that's a dead Dazzle. And now Queen of Pain getting him off there. Searing Chains as well, but the silence, a nice shackle shot, probably saving their lives. But in comes AM! Focus Fire on cooldown, so maybe... Sorry, not on cooldown. Windrunner could have used it there, but decided not to just turn around and pound into Dodger's Dota. And they're trying to use axes and so on, but it's just not enough to defend against this. Even though Dodgers doesn't have the Aegis anymore, he just feels very confident being uphill.
Well, he knows Raw's on cooldown for a tiny bit longer. Now they're going to try and chase because it's coming up soon, but I don't think they're going to be able to get anything more than
They
maybe
didn't get the Searing
dying.
Chains. No, and he's just gonna Glimmer Cape TP out. Maybe they'll get this Wyvern. We see the Yules doing some work. There's finally a Searing Chain. She gets shackled. Focus fired. Finally the Winter's Cold Embrace will wear off and they get her, but it was so costly. They lost to tier 2. They decisively lost that team fight beforehand.
The graphs should definitely be going down after that. Considering the amount they invested to defend and what they got out of it, it was definitely not worth it. But at least Ember's finally working on his Battle Fury. Maybe he'll have it by like the 34-minute mark if he doesn't get ganked too much.
And this is very late. It's something where Ember Spirit's average timing on the Battle Fury for this patch had been moved back 3 minutes. It's now about 25 minutes, but this Ember Spirit way behind the curve, especially with this Yules. It's normally bots into Battle Fury, and I don't feel like there's a better build. In this case, I do agree with you. Manta may have been a necessity, but...
I don't really think Manta would have even done too much this game. Maybe BKB would have been the option, but definitely not yours. Definitely not yours.
They're also in a really bad spot because just Chappa is so far ahead. They've got level 2 ultis on everyone. Dazzle's still level 9. We've got Tusk and as well level 9. Wyvern has a blink. Invoker has a blink. It just feels like there's a lot of mobility. Maybe Anti-Mage is going a Lincoln's, it looks like, with this next pickup. They're going to have a really hard time shutting him down.
I mean, at this point, I feel like the only way Fade can get back into the game is if they wait for around the next Roche and smoke and get like 1 or 2 pickoffs to then get the Roche and prolong the game a bit longer. But at this point, you have 3 to 4 heroes from Chappa that can literally just push out lanes. And if one of them dies, it really isn't that big a deal. You just have 3 people shoving all the...
Oh, the aggressive blink forwards. There's the EMP. Just melts. Goodbye, Windrunner. Shallow Grave just going to delay the inevitable. And they've got axes flying up at Quap. She's forwards. Mikrob is going to die as well. Winter's Curse just to ensure that. I wouldn't be surprised if they call GG. They actually have Ember Spirit trying to push down this top lane. He got the tower pretty low, but it's not going to be enough. And I think that this push from Chappa is going to be so much bigger.
Yeah, that was a very game-losing fight to take.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to get the tier 3. I don't know if they can get racks. They probably will. They have 30 seconds before any relevant heroes are up.
It also felt a bit weird to go for the fight when they didn't have their Ember Spirit. I know we talk about how he doesn't do a lot of damage right now, but he's certainly one of their sources, and he dodges the MP. Has a Remnant, able to get out of there just fine. And yeah, this is Rax. They've got TPs in. Maybe Tusk can do something, but the melee Rax, it's going down. He gets silenced immediately. He can't use anything, and that's just a second death. for nothing. He buys back, trying to get the Searing Chains off for the Ember, but they are looking for this ranged Rax, or they can just blink away. Did the Shackle shot, it did latch. Ember Spirit's going in, he's got the Searing Chains. Nort is also cold and braced up, so might be taking a lot of damage, but AM is coming back in, and they don't want to fight here. And AM Illusion's doing a lot of work. Mikrob lost all... 2/3 of his mana gone. 3/4 actually. It's ridiculous. So this AM ready to fight and really bringing it to Fade.
They're playing really well, honestly. You can see Fade are getting really anxious. They feel like the game's just slipping away from them, and they need to do something. That's why Go Audio brought back. But like that buyback achieves nothing. If you look at it logically, like he's just gonna buy back, and they're gonna run away, and they're gonna waste gold. So like I would kind of want to say there's no way Chappa can throw this game.
Yeah, they're pretty far ahead. I like to never say never, but you're very correct. It would have to be a throw from Chappa, it feels like. And now they're gonna just pick off the Ember. Yule's into Sonic Wave. Queen of Pain using his own Yules against him. That's another thing I've seen before, where co-ops going Yules perfectly always get off the Sonic Wave, and the Ember had no escape.
I actually don't think you can dodge the Sonic Wave with like a Slight or a Remnant out, because if it's on top of you when the Yules drops, I think it hits regardless.
Yeah.
So him getting so low there is just really like the desperation play. He knows he needs to do something, which is why he's doing it.
And we're at the point in the
Chappa
game.
know they can deal with it.
Yeah, we're very much in the point in the game. We're doing the smart thing, like playing safe inside your base, trying to hold out the game maybe until you get farmed. It doesn't win you the game anymore. You have to do the crazy thing. So, unfortunately...
And then teammates is just going through backdoor protection bottom, or he's trying to take the Tiffery. Quite work though.
His illusion's not quite strong enough. And Beastmaster working on a BKB has a blink. I don't know if it's gonna be too little too late.
I really don't think BKB is going to be able to do much this game for him.
Maybe it's a Heaven's Halberd.
I don't think that does anything either. I guess you can use it on the Invoker, but he has a Lincoln.
Or the Anti-Mage, and hope you... Oh gosh, yeah, what do you use to proc this
I
Lincolns?
feel like it's better that you just buy a full staff to try and break the Lincolns, so you can actually get your off. But Ember looks like he's in trouble mid.
Yeah, silenced up,
Yules.
gonna self-Yules, but will he be able to get out? He will. But again, every time he uses these Remnants defensively, I mean, at this point in the game, you're probably not using them offensively, but it's just... He's getting gone on so frequently, it doesn't feel like he has them. So, and actually his Yules, now that there are all these Lincolns, kind of getting to be a good item.
I mean, it's definitely saved him a few times, but that's like 2.8k gold invested into something that's only defensive. It's not offering you the ability to put pressure on the opposing team at all, which is just a game-losing strategy in general.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's anything he can do this game because of that.
He blunk away. Invoker started to go. He on Tusk and then blunk away.
You can see Chappa's just shoving mid and bottom in lane in now. They have the courier in Roche to scout as soon as it spawns, which is really smart play. And they're just going to wait for this Roche, and then they're going to go for the bottom Rax.
Yeah.
Maybe push top in as well, but I think Ember's going to try really hard to keep that pushed out, so that's not an option.
Queen of Pain has a full sheep stick.
Makes it really hard for them to do anything this...
Ember doesn't have a way out of a sheep stick, and Wyvern's just... Oh, wait, what are you... Wyvern's building a pipe? Wow, okay. Well, that says a lot about the state of the game. So, Wyvern building a pipe.
I think it's really good though, because they know they can end the game in the next 3 to 4 minutes after this Roche, and if they can just keep the creep waves alive to go high ground so they can't be cut or killed before backdoor protection drops, then it's going to enable them to win the game now.
I agree with that. I just think that a pipe, when a lot of the wave clear is physical, because of Axes and Dazzle's Heal Bomb, although I guess there is Ice Shards and Power Shot, which are magical. It's just kind of like, I don't know if that's going to help you, but doesn't matter. Tusk getting Sonic Wave auto attack down. Turned him into a little piggy. Yeah, and oh, Ember Spirit, what are you doing there? He immediately Remnants home. Okay, did he just bots in to Remnant home? No.
He wanted to push the wave out as far as possible.
Yeah.
You know what, Chappa need to shove this wave in, and then they're going to go bottom to meet up with the Quap and try to end the game here. They have 30 seconds where there's no Tusk, which is really big deal considering he's their best hero at like defending the base, other than maybe Windrunner. But maybe they're going for this tier 2 as well, which I feel like is a mistake. They could just go Rax and end the game, honestly. This is just a waste of time what they're doing now.
Yeah, I think probably just wanting to. Oh,
Bob's
we have
actually
an
in trouble
engagement.
as
Yeah.
well. He gets changed
Will they
bottom.
have the lockdown? He goes for the Sonic Wave. I think if he could turn around and Sonic Wave there, I don't think the blink was on cooldown. Tornado misses. They managed to get out of that. A huge
Now they're
kill.
just prolonging the game.
Yeah. And I think it is a bit dangerous to prolong the game here because Ember Spirit will be able to get up that crit. He will be able to get up that Battle Fury and have the more physical wave clear, which your pipe doesn't help you against.
I think it's very optimistic to say dangerous, but I don't think there's a way this game doesn't end in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I
So,
hope I'm wrong, but because it would be an amazing comeback from Fade.
yeah. Now, Windrunner, she's got the Chrysalis. Do you try to finish that up? I know everybody's saving for buyback right now, but do you try to save that up in hopes that you can get a Daedalus, or is there something else that might be better for her to go here? Like, maybe a Maelstrom because they're getting pushed so hard.
As you said, buyback's definitely.
Oh, how
the
does that
most
Shackle
important
latch? But now she's gonna get killed up by the AM. He just blows her up with the Mono Void. And oh goodness, they're on the retreat, but AM is still going in. He's gonna kill the Dazzle too while he's at it. Searing Chains, they latch on the backlines, not on the AM, and there's an EMP. Shallow Grave cost, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough to save them, and AM just doing too much damage. Primal roll way too late, and this is the end. Killing off the Ember with Meek Rob. They've got buybacks on some heroes, but only on 3, and they used a bunch of big ultis there. I don't know if they have enough. They're gonna go for the buybacks. The racks are going down. Their bottom racks, it's gonna be gone. They can now push in through mid. The Searing Chains do latch, but they don't have any follow-up damage. And a Shackle that doesn't latch again. AM just jumps onto mid. He has no fear. He's barely taking any damage, even though he has nothing to heal up of. Actually, Cold embracing him, kind of being a bit cheeky there, since he gets the Alacrity put on him as well. But he is just burning through their towers. I think this is GG. Quap jumping forwards with the silence, and that is a dieback from Windrunner. Gonna be one from the Ember Spirit soon, too, by the looks of it.
Yeah, Chappa played that fight pretty well. The Fade knew they needed to do something, and despite the fact they were hesitant on the buybacks, like letting their axe drop before they even poured out, I think they knew it was kind of over. So
Yeah.
this was pretty clean execution from Chappa, though.
Yeah, I think they're all the
Kind of
more...
impressed.
They're the more experienced team here. They've been in Division 2 for a while. They've played together for quite a while. I think one person has been switched out. But yeah, it's going to be first game to Chappa, and it is just a kind of 2-game set. So it's not awful for Fade, even if they get beaten out here 2-0. It's good practice. And, you know, they're going to be going into a second game. I believe you have something to do, so you won't be able to join me for game 2. But
I can actually do game 2.
oh, excellent. So we'll be going into this. It should be the same password. I'm going to quickly restart my Dota. Once again, I'm Llama Down Under. I'd love your feedback on how to get better. And I was joined by the wonderful PQ. I don't know if you have shout outs or anything.
Not really.